Okay, so we'll start with the interpersonal communication theories or models. So we have three models. We have one is the exchange theory, Johari window, and transaction analysis. So what is this exchange theory? Exchange theory proposes that the social behavior is the result of the exchange process. That means the way we behave in a group or the way we behave with others, it all depends upon the exchange process. And what is this exchange process? This exchange process considers the cost and the benefits. That means how we exchange the cost and the benefits when compared to the cost and benefits of the others with whom we are communicating. So there are two things that we have to understand. One is the cost and one is the benefit that is there in the exchange theory. So cost is the things that we invest in the relationship. For instance, the time we spend, the money we spent, the efforts we are putting. So all that includes the cost, and benefits are what we get in return for whatever we have invested, whether it is love, affection, the time of the friends, entertainment, fun. So that is the benefit that we gain from the relationship. So exchange theory says that a relationship exists as long as the people involved in the relationship feels that the benefits that they are getting is more than the cost the what they have invested in the relationship. So based upon this cost benefit, uh, weighing cost benefit, the the people who are involved in the relationship, they will decide whether they have to continue that relationship or not. So as long as they are happy with the relationship and as long as they feel that the exchange that is taking place between the two people who are involved is weighing more in benefit than in the cost. That means when we say the exchange of the cost and the benefit is taking place between the people who are involved in the relationship and the people who communicate with each other. So, for instance, if there is a friend, and he thinks that every time he is the one who is putting the money and he does not get anything in return, people are not giving him time and they are not liking him, but they're just using his money, then he will realize that his cost is more than the benefit. So, he would like to withdraw from that relationship and hence the communication will stop. But in case if there is a person, though he is spending more money when compared to all the other people in the relationship, but still he feels that he is happy with whatever the love and affection he is getting from the other friends, then he would be happy. For instance, there is a person who has a lot of money and but he's not able to give spend time with his parents. His parents are not able to give time to him, so he feels very lonely. So he he tries to give money in that relationship and he is able to get the time of his friends. He feels happy because he feels he's engaged with his friends and he's no more lonely. So for him, even though he's putting money, but for him the benefits are more weight than the cost that is put, because for him the love and affection and the time that his friends are giving is more important. So it depends. That means it depends upon the person to person how they weigh cost and how they weigh the benefits. What is more important to them? So it is a perception of the people who are involved. So it is their perception, what they feel, whether they are weighing, whether the cost involved is more or whether the benefits they are getting is more. So if they feel that the cost they have put is more uh, in the relationship when compared to the benefit, they will withdraw from the relationship and the communication will stop. If they feel that the benefit they are getting from the relationship is more, then he would be happy to continue the relationship and there would be good and effective communication among the members who are involved in that relationship. So that is what is the exchange theory. Then we have the second model, which is the Johari window. Next is the Johari window. So just tell me, can you see the slide of Johari window? Is the slide visible?
Yes, ma'am, visible.
Okay. So Johari window is actually a conceptual window which was developed by the American psychologist Joseph Luft and Harry Ingham. So LU of the Luft, uh, and sorry, uh, Jo of the Johari, and Harry of Harry Ingham. They have combined their names. They have combined their names and they came with the term Johari window. So this Johari window is a conceptual window, um, which tells about a person, how much a person understands himself and how much others understand this person. So this talks about how a person communicates in a group. So this Johari window, um, it has four parts, and the Johari window of every person varies from the other person. So that means every person is having his own Johari window. So a Johari window depends upon the factors of how much a person knows himself and how much he is not aware of, and how much the others known the person or not known. So it depends upon two factors: how much a person is known to himself, that is his level of self awareness, and the other factor is how much others are aware of that person. So there are four windows depending upon this factor. It is open arena, blind spot, hidden area or the facade, and unknown. Now, what is this open area? The open area is the area that lies for when a person is knowing himself, when a person has self awareness, and also others are aware of this person. Then that area which comes into that is called as open area or open arena. So open area can be, the example can be, the role a person plays. For example, a student, right? Everyone knows that so and so person. Those who are knowing him, they know that this person is a student, and he also knows that he is a student. So basically, the attitude of a person, the feelings of the expressive feelings, those feelings that the person is expressing, those will come under open area. So this area is one where a person is having a self awareness of himself and others are also aware of this. So if a person is able to express himself properly to others, then definitely others will know about him. And if a person is also having self awareness and he knows himself well, then also this area is more. So this area should be more for any person's window, that is the open area or the arena. So for a person to communicate, it is possible if the open arena is bigger in size, and this can be bigger in size if the person knows himself. And how can he knows himself? If he is taking the feedback from the others. If he is open to take the feedback from the others, others will tell more about him. So he will have an information about himself. And also, he is known to others. How can he be known to others? When he is able to express himself properly to the others. When he is able to interact properly with others, he is able to communicate with others properly and able to express everything to others. Then others will be knowing him. The second one is blind spot. Blind spot is that part of Johari window which is not known to the person himself. That means the self awareness is not there. A person does not know about himself, but others are knowing about him. Why others are knowing about him? Because he is able to express himself well. He is a person who is, you know, very expressive, and he talks to others. He likes to share. He likes to share whatever about him to others. So that means he talks more and he tells everything about him to others. But at the same time, if you can see here, there is no self awareness. That means he is not open to the feedback given by the others. That is the reason he is not knowing him about himself much. So generally we know about ourselves. We don't have to depend upon others. But then if we are, open to the feedback from the others, we will know what good we are doing, what bad we are doing. So if this person is, because this person is not receptive to and not open to the feedback from others, so that is the reason he is having this blind spot. But at the same time, he does not mind talking about himself to others. So whatever he knows about himself, he is talking to others. So others are knowing about him, but he is not receptive to to take the feedback from the others. So that area is called as a blind spot. It is also called as a blind spot, is also called as bad breath area. That means, where we do not know that we are smelling, but others are aware of it. This can be, this blind spot can include like certain types of talent. Sometimes we don't have confidence on ourselves and we do not know whether we can do it good or not. But when others say no, that you have this good communication, so you can give good presentation, you have confidence, you can give good presentation, so they are trying to give you an input that you are good into this, and you can they try to judge you and they try to evaluate you and give you an input that these are your talents and you can be better in this area. For example, when you go for the career counseling or counseling to choose any proper stream, so which field you want to study further, so you are not aware which field is better for you, so you go for the counseling, right? So how do those people counsel? Because you are giving whatever information you have with them, you are trying to give, in like, you are in this field, you are good in that field, and on that basis they will try to judge you. On that basis they will try to judge you and they will try to know you and give you a feedback. Okay, so that is the blind spot. Next is the hidden area. So hidden area is one where a person is having self awareness, he knows himself, but he is not known to the others. So others do not know about you, but you know properly about yourself. For example, your secrets, or any kind of fear you have, or any kind of feelings that you have, but you are not expressing those feelings. See, those feelings that you express will come in open area, but then not all the feelings we express. See, sometimes when you are talking to your boss, and your boss did try to explain you that you were not good into your work, and the employee felt very bad. He thinks that he did well, but the information did not reach him properly, and he does not try to express him. So what is happening? He felt bad and he's not expressing, but he's talking to the boss properly because it is his boss. So he is his boss and he does not want the boss to feel bad. So what is happening? Because he is not expressing, that is the reason he is feeling. That is the reason the boss is not aware that he is feeling bad, but he knows that he is feeling bad. So not only that, there are certain fears which others are not aware. Then there are certain secrets which we do not want to share with the others, and we know it. Or there are some hidden past, we don't want to disclose. So those will come under hidden area or the facade, which we are aware of, but others are not aware of. Why others are not aware of? Because we are not opening to them and we are not disclosing that information to them. The fourth part of the Johari window is the unknown area. This is an unknown area because neither the person has self awareness of that nor others are knowing to it. Now, that happens because the person is not subjected to those conditions, he has not gone through those situations, so he does not know how he is going to respond. He is not aware of that. So that's why even others are not aware of that. For instance, if there is if there is a disaster, maybe there is um, an earthquake or something, so how am I going to respond to that? Because I have not experienced that, so I will not know it. And whether I will be able to help the other people, if there are people who are suffering, will I be able to go there and help them to overcome those problems? I do not know, because I have not. I think that I might be able to help, but I actually do not know how really it will happen because I have not experienced such situation before, right? So that is an unknown part or unknown area of the Johari window, which we are not aware of it because we haven't experienced those situations so far. Okay, so these are the four parts of the Johari window of any person. So every person has these four parts of a Johari window. Only thing is the size of each of these parts varies from person to person. So a person who is very very talkative, and who believes in exchange of information, who thinks that he likes to give the information, and at the same time he likes to take the feedback from the others, such persons open arena will be very big. and the communication with such kind of people will be very very easy. But if you have people whose blind spot is bigger size, or hidden area or facade is uh, especially the hidden area or the facade is bigger size, then automatically this becomes small, right? So then it becomes difficult. So if hidden area is bigger, then this open area becomes small, and then it becomes difficult to communicate with such kind of people whose open area is small and hidden area is bigger. So let us see how actually it happens. So how does the communication failure happen if the if the Johari window of the two people are not compatible? So for example, this is a person A and this is person B. Okay, for this person, this is the open area. So I said when we communicate with people, we communicate through the open area, right? That is the reason I have kept the person B's Johari window also flipped so that the open area is here. So now this person's open area is very big. So when he and this person's the person B open area is very small. So what happens is when A is trying to communicate to B, until some extent he will try to communicate, but beyond that this hidden area comes and he is not able to communicate because he is not open. His open area is small. He is not open and he does not want to exchange the information. So this leads to communication failure. So how to overcome this communication failure? You need to you need to increase this size and increase that size, right? That means open area can be increased by increasing horizontally and increasing vertically, right? So if I increase horizontally here and vertically here, then automatically the size of the open arena will increase, right? And they will be able to interact. For example, if you see here, right? So if you see here, the area is very small, hidden area is big, and unknown is big, and this is big, this anyway. And only the concern for us is that this is very very small. So how do we increase this open area? So to increase this open area, we need to increase this, right? If you see vertically wise, we have to increase this. So if I have to increase this, then what do I do? This has to come down. Hidden area has to reduce, right? How can I hide how can I reduce the hidden area? So what is this hidden area? Hidden area is not known to others. That means others are not knowing. Why are they not knowing? They are not knowing because you are not disclosing. You are not disclosing your information to others, or you are not giving the feedback to others, right? That is the reason you are not known to others. So if you can increase this open area this wise, and by reducing the hidden area, this is possible. If you are able to disclose yourself more to others, and if you are able to give feedback to others, this will give more information to others about yourself. So when you are giving more information about you to others, then this unknown to others will automatically become small. So this is what is shown here, right? This has become small and this has increased, right? So this wise we have increased. We can increase even horizontal wise. Horizontal mouse icon we can increase. I have to increase this. Sorry, I have to decrease this side. If I have to decrease blind spot, which is not known to self, that means I'm not aware of myself. So that means I have to reduce this. That means how can I reduce this? If I am knowing more and more about myself. So how can I know more and more about myself? If I am taking the feedback from others and I'm allowing the others to talk about me and I'm accepting that, then this open area will increase horizontally and the blind spot will reduce. So that is what it is shown here, that this can increase and this will reduce if your feedback, if you ask for the feedback and you're getting the information from the others about yourself, and then this open area will increase. And this is what is required in every person's Johari window, that this open area should be avoided. Okay, then the third model is transaction analysis. Transaction analysis was given by Eric Berne, and he says that transaction analysis is the smallest unit of a social interaction. So for any interaction to take place, transaction analysis is the smallest unit. So this talks about the interaction that takes place of a person in the group. So how the interaction takes place and how it actually happens. So he says he has given three things. One is that he says that there are three states of the person, and which is parent ego state, adult ego state, and child ego state. And then he says that that every person has three ego states, and depending upon the situation and depending upon his own experiences, uh, um, mm, the any of these ego states will get activated. So usually, depending, every person will have all the three existing, but depending upon the situation, it will get activated. Now, what is this parent ego state? Parent ego state is a kind of ego state where a person exhibits a behavior which he has learned from his parent during his childhood. So during from his parents, what he must have learned, he must have had the experience, with the parents who are very strict, and they always control others. They always say what to do, what not to do. They always show fingers onto the others, and they are always controlling others. So generally, when we say a strict parent, he is a parent who will try to control the others, and he will decide for the others. So the others will not have chance to speak anything. But in a parent ego state, we might have in fact two types. Can be a controlling parent ego state, and can be a nurturing ego state. In controlling ego state, though he is controlling, he is very strict as well. In nurturing ego state, parent ego state, though he is controlling, but he also is concerned about others. Okay, so such bosses, if you have a if you have a boss who has a controlling parent ego state, then he is a very very autocratic kind of a boss. That means he always uses his power and authority to control others, and he does not want to get any feedback or listen anything from his employees. Then you might also have a nurturing parent ego state where he is also very controlling, but at the same time he is concerned about his employees, that if I'm strict with them, then they will do their work properly, and then they will get good or better bonus. So he is also concerned about them. Then you have the adult ego state. Before adult, let me talk about the child. So you have a child ego state. Child ego state is one where the parent, where the person, exhibits a behavior which is of childish nature. That means, he is sometimes very childish. Sometimes he is very rebellious. Sometimes he is very, um, like he is very inquisitive, where he will keep asking about the questions, why this is happening, how this is happening. And sometimes he might be very creative, um, and he's very unstable, like how a child is, very unstable. He keeps his mind keeps wandering. He's very inquisitive, always asking for the questions, but sometimes he gets rebellious. At the same time, when we say a child, that means he is very submissive. That means he will listen to whatever others says because he's a child. So there are different types of child. So when a person's behavior is exhibited as a child, then we say that he has a child ego state. Okay, so child can also be questioning and can be rebellious as well. Then you have an adult ego state. An a person with an adult ego state is one who is very very rational and logical in his behavior. So he is a person who believes that there should be a proper exchange of information. He has confidence in himself. At the same time, he believes in others as well. He thinks others should be given a chance to express themselves. He believes that all the brains should work together, and whatever information he gathers, he will think logically, pragmatically, and then he works on that. So he is a very rational, logical, and a pragmatic person. So a boss who is having an adult ego state is supposed to be a very very successful boss, because he has confidence in himself. He knows what is right, what is wrong. At the same time, he does not put his employees down. He gives equal opportunities to his employees as well. So these are the three ego states of any person. Okay, then you have the types of transactions. So types of transaction depends upon two things. That is the the stimulus and the response. Stimulus is any cues or any message that you start with, and response is the feedback. Okay, so stimulus and response. So a complementary transaction is one where the stimulus and response are parallel to each other. That means when we take the parent, let me show it to you. Now, if you see here, when you take, when the boss has the communication to start, his communication is uh, the stimulus. That is the cue or the message that he's sending is stimulus. Okay, so if the boss says, to his subordinate that, why are you late? You should always come on time. Okay, so he's talking as a parent, and his employee, he's talking to employees as if he's a child. He's treating his employee as a child. So he is in a way scolding him and telling him that you are supposed to come office in time. Okay, now if the child or the employee who has been treated as a child by his boss also behaves as a child and respond to his boss as if he is the parent, and he says, yes sir, I agree with you, I will come on time, right? So he's agreeing because a child is submissive, so he's agreeing. And so if you can see here, the the answer that is given by the employee is the response. The question that was asked by the boss was the stimulus. So here the stimulus and response are parallel to each other. So this kind of transaction is called a complementary transaction. Okay, then you have um, the cross transaction. This is a cross transaction. In cross transaction, what happens is the stimulus and response are not parallel to each other. That means they're assuming different roles here. So when a boss is saying to the employee, the boss is questioning, so he's acting as a parent, and he's treating his employee as a child, saying, why are you late? You are supposed to come to the office on time. But here the employee or the subordinate is not acting as a child that was treated by his boss. Here he is also acting as a parent, and he is treating his boss as a child and saying, why do you always question me? Not only me, even you are supposed to come on time. So what is it is happening here? He is acting as a parent now, and he is treating his boss as a child. So if you can see here, the stimulus and response are not parallel to each other, right? They are crossed. So this kind of communication is called as, or this kind of transaction is called as crossed transaction. So the problem with the crossed transaction is that this results into arguments. This results into the heated arguments, and this might result into misunderstandings, fightings, and ultimately this will result into the communication failure, and the communication might completely stop as well. But when you see in complementary transaction, here it is a good form of discussion, where what happens is the there is no arguments, and the communication goes smoothly. And in case if there has to be the discussion take if the discussion has to take place between two people, if they have to discuss about something, some topic, then if both of them act as an adults, where both of them are exchanging the information in the logical manner, then the discussion will take place very well. But if it is P and C, even if it is complementary, then it will be like question and answer, because the boss will be questioning and he will be agreeing to whatever his boss says. So here the discussion might not take place. But if the stimulus and response is from adult to adult, then there will be the ideal type of discussions that can take place when it is A to A. And in the cross communication, here there will be only arguments, because none of them are having here, if you can see, the stimulus and response is not parallel to each other, so that this will result into the arguments. So in case see, generally we study transaction analysis because we want that there has to be a proper interaction between the people who are involved in the transaction, or um, transaction of the communication, or transaction of information. So to have a proper interaction or transaction between two people, the cross transaction has to be converted into the complementary transaction. Only then the communication will take place, otherwise it will become a failure. Okay, then the next one is the ulterior transaction. The ulterior transactions is one where it has two forms of the communication. One which is the actual meaning of what you say, and other one is the psychological meaning. That means one that you do not want, that one that you mean to say. Okay, one is the physical form of the message, the other is the psychological form of the message. The physical form of the message is that one you are saying, the psychological is the one actually that you mean to say. The best example is sarcasm, you know. um, the employee every day comes late to the office. So he says to boss that tomorrow I will come to the office on time. So boss says sarcastically, yeah, yeah, I know tomorrow you will come on time. So his physical form of the message is, yes, I know tomorrow you will come in time, but his what he meant to say is that he knows that he will not be able to come on time because he does the same thing every time, right? So he's sarcastically saying that you will not be able to come. So that is the ulterior kind of transaction where it has two forms, the physical form and the psychological form, the one that we say and the one that we actually want to say. That is the ulterior transaction. Okay, and then you have um, the ego, the psychological positions. The psychological positions, I don't know whether you have it or not, so I'll just give you a gist of it. So there are four types of psychological positions, or one is I am okay, you are okay. That means we have people who are of the thought that everything is good with me and everything is good with others. So they are the people who have confidence in themselves and who believes in others as well. So they are the people who have, for whom the self respect is important, and they also respect the other people. So they think that there should be mutual understanding between two people, and such kind of bosses, they are very good with their employees, and they believe in exchanging the information and taking the decisions mutually. Then you have I am okay, you are not okay. So these kind of people are one who thinks that whatever I say is right and whatever you say is right. So they believe that I know everything and you do not know anything. They are like overconfident, and they don't believe in others, they don't respect others point. So if these kind of bosses are there who think that I am okay and you are not, so they are the autocratic kind of bosses who think that whatever I say is right, and that is the reason they do not take the feedback from the others. Then you have people who are like I am not okay and you are okay type. They are the people who, there are again two types. Maybe they do not believe in themselves, and that is the reason they think others are okay. So they believe in others, and they will ask, they will give the task to be given to others to complete. They will give their responsibilities to others, and they will ask them to complete the task because he thinks he cannot do, and he does not have confidence on himself. Okay, so that is the reason he will give the task to others, and he, because he cannot do and he is low in confidence, so he has to believe on others. So that is the reason such kind of bosses are one who will not complete, who do not know what to do. So they will completely hand over the responsibility to the others, because he thinks that others at least will do something and complete the work. Then there is other type of person who believes that I am not okay, you are not okay. So he is a kind of person who neither believes in himself nor he believes in others. So he thinks, I am not at all capable enough to do any work, and he thinks, then I am not capable, how can you be capable to do that work? So he does not believe in others as well. Okay, so this is all about the models of communication, interpersonal communication, exchange theory, Johari window and transaction analysis, which talks about how the interaction takes place between two people, and how the interaction and communication can be improved between the people, and especially this says how the people talk to others when you are in a group, and how you can improve your behavior and your communication when you are a part of a group and when you communicate in a group. Okay, so that is all about the models of the communication. Then let us move to the other topic, which is meetings. So, meeting is a gathering of two or more people where they gather together, they sit together to discuss over certain issue. So there is a purpose for which they all people gather, and they discuss over. So usually, it can be discussion over a certain topic, or it can be, just to pass on the information to other, or maybe there is some problem existing for which they try to find a solution. So basically, meeting is a gathering of few people wherein there is an exchange of the information taking place, and the meeting happens for a purpose. There is an objective of a meeting, so there is a reason why the meeting takes place. There is a purpose, and to achieve that purpose, the meeting takes place among the various members who are involved uh, uh, in achieving this purpose. So as I told you, it can be to solve a problem. Maybe there are the sales of a product is slowly coming down. As the years are passing, the sales of a product is reducing. So why is that problem? So they will call certain people who are involved in this, and they will discuss over the issue. Or the meeting can be, maybe the organization has come up with a new policy and they want to discuss before launching, before implementing that new policy. They want the information to be passed on to the employees. Or maybe the organization is planning to bring a structural change, and it wants to discuss with its employees, and together along with the employees, then they want to come up how they're going to bring a change in the structure. So it can be anything. So it depends upon what the purpose of the meeting is, and based upon the purpose of the meeting, the discussion will take place among the people who are involved in the meeting. So meetings, as it says, it is face-to-face contact of number of people at the same time. So it's a face-to-face discussion between the people who are involved in the meeting at the same time. So these all people should be available at the same time. So this meetings, it provides the opportunities for sharing information, making suggestions and proposals, taking discussions, and obtaining instant feedback. Right? That is what I have explained you so far. So there are different types of meeting. The meeting can be statutory and non-statutory. Statutory meetings are those which is required as per the legal. So as per the legality, that meeting needs to be conducted. So if you take, these public sectors or these government organizations, so they have shareholders. So they are supposed to conduct the AGM and disclose these information to the shareholders as well. So this statutory meeting is required as per the legality, and it has to be conducted as per the legality. Non-statutory meetings are those which are conducted because it is required, but not because of the legal imposition. So there is no legal imposition for the non-statutory meeting, but there is a legal imposition for the statutory meeting. Then formal meetings are those which follows a particular procedure for conducting a meeting, and which usually is a meeting which requires serious kind of discussions over any particular issue or a topic. So example can be again AGM, annual general meeting, or can be a board meeting, or it can be a you know the meeting with all the managers. Maybe the GM is calling the meeting with all the managers. So even that can be a formal meeting. A formal meeting is one where uh, um, like all the procedures, all the steps are followed to conduct that meeting. So what are those steps that we will see? Okay, an informal meeting is one which is usually a very short span meeting, and it can be conducted even spontaneously. So a formal meeting, it requires time. It cannot happen spontaneously. There is a time which is set, and it takes time to conduct that meeting as well. And in informal meeting, not necessarily it has to be informed beforehand. One can call for the meeting just half an hour before, or even on the spot. And usually it is a meeting of a small duration. For example, suddenly the head of the department feels that he has to speak to his members about the just about whatever activities or work they have finished for that particular day. They just want to know. So then he can call for just spontaneous meeting or an informal meeting. So one does not have to follow all the steps and all the procedure to conduct an informal meeting. Then you have a meeting which is based upon the purpose. That means based upon the purpose, if the meeting is to solve a problem, there is some issue or a problem existing, and you call for a meeting to get a solution for that problem, then it is a problem solving meeting. And if you have called upon a meeting, convene a meeting because you want to take a decision, so you are taking the inputs from those members so that a decision can be taken, then it is called as a decision meeting. So these are some of the types of meeting. You might even go through other types of meeting as well. Then you have stages of the planning a meeting. So how does a meeting has to progress? The first one is uh, you know um, planning the meeting. Then it is how the meeting, then starting the meeting, and then procedure after the meeting. So you have planning, that is pre, then during, and then post. Okay, so pre is planning the meeting. So one has to plan for the meeting. That means one should know first of all what is the objective of the meeting. So what is the purpose of the meeting? Why are you calling for a meeting? Is that you are is that the sales are going down, or do you feel that the attrition has increased, number of employees leaving the organization is increasing? So what is the problem? Why are people, so many employees leaving the organization and going? Is there anything wrong with the organization culture? Is there anything wrong with the job profile? What is the problem? So what is the objective of the meeting? One has to first has to decide, because based upon that only you will involve the people who are you will invite the people who are the part of the meeting, and based upon that only the discussions also will take place. Next is the participants. So who are the participants of the meeting? So when you say you are having a meeting, what kind of people are to be in the meeting? Who will be the people who are involved in the meeting? Whether it is, if it is a department meeting, then all the members in the department, or if it is, when I'm saying like people, the employees from various departments are leaving the organization and going, so you need to call the managers from all the departments. So what it is, so who will be the participants, who are going to be the participants of the meeting, who will be involved in the meeting? So that also has to be decided. Then timings and the venue of the meetings. So when will be the meeting? What will be the date of the meeting? Will it be on the weekends? Will it be on the working days? Will it be on a holiday? And what will be the timings? Will it be during the office timings? Will it be after the office timings? And when will be the, where will be the venue? What will be the venue of the meeting? Where will the meeting take place? Will it be in the company premises? Will it be in the conference room of the organization, or will it be somewhere in the hotel, conference room of the hotel? It can be even outside the premises also, right? It can be anywhere. So where will be the venue of the meeting? Then material, refreshment, equipment, and room layout. Materials in the sense, any uh, any handouts to be given to the participants of the meeting. Maybe if you are discussing over the sales pattern, how was the sales pattern for the last 5 years? Okay, so then the sales pattern, the sales data, the graphs, the details, everything has to be given to the participants. Only then they can discuss, right? So that handout also has to be given to the participants. Then refreshments. So of course, any tea and any sort of refreshments also required along with the meeting. Or will there be any lunch arrangements also made? Suppose the meeting has to go for the whole day, then will there be any lunch arrangements? Or even if it is for the half day after the meeting, will there be any lunch, or will there be just refreshments? So all those things also have to be decided. Then equipments in the sense, any laptop, any projector, any speakers, any all these equipments which is required to conduct the meeting. If those things are required, all those arrangements have to be done before only. Then room layout. How will be the layout of the meeting room? So there are different types of layout. If you can see here, this is uh, you know the this is the center table layout, wherein you have a table and people are all sitting around each other, around the table. So here, this is the center table where center you have a table, and all the participants are sitting around this table and they will be discussing. Now usually this kind of meeting is this kind of layout is there when the number of participants are less, and also when there is a closed discussion required among all the participants, then center table layout is there, will be used. Then the layout can be classroom kind of layout, right, where usually when some kind of information has to be passed, so then they make a classroom type of layout where there will be so many participants, and like benches, you will have two members or three members, whatever it is, they'll be sitting as if they, like how the classroom layout is there, they will be sitting in this manner. And the convener of the meeting will be sitting over here, and he will be giving the information to all these people. Of course, even they have the right to give the feedback and ask anything if they have a doubt. Then you have a U-shaped layout. In U-shaped layout, uh, you know, uh, there are some people who are sitting over here. So it's like in a U shape, they are sitting. So you have a U shaped table, and all the participants are sitting around the U shaped table. Then you have a theater layout where everyone is spread over that place in that meeting room. Okay. So depending upon the requirement, depending upon what for the discussion is, depending upon who are the participants, depending upon how many number of participants are there, depending upon, of course, the availability of the meeting room, the layouts will vary. Okay. So this is the planning of the meeting. Then you have procedure during the meeting. So that means how does the meeting start? So once all the arrangements are done, then the meeting has to start. So the meeting has to start on time. One should not wait for the latecomers. If the people who are coming late, it is their problem. It is they are wrong in to come late to the meeting. So one should not wait for them, and one should not punish the others who have come on time and who are on time. So meeting should always start on time, because one should respect time. And apart from that, all these participants who have come for the meeting, they have the other office works to complete. So that is the reason it should start on time and complete on time, so that the participants go back to their places and continue with their work. So it has to start on time. So when the meeting starts, there should be an agenda given to the agenda that has to be given to all the participants. So agenda, what it is, agenda is the blueprint of the meeting. That means what is the meeting about, when will it start, who is convening the meeting, who are the participants of the meeting, what are the uh, topics that have to be discussed in the meeting, what is the time allotted for all those specific topics, everything will be given in the agenda. So the general habit is to give the agenda to the participants few days before the meeting has begun. Few days before the meeting date, because if you provide the agenda to the participants will know what this meeting is about, and they will get prepared, and they will contribute to the meeting. Because in the meeting, if the participants do not contribute, then the meeting is of no use. So if the convener wants the participants to contribute to the meeting, then the then he is supposed to send the agenda to all the participants of the meeting, so that they come prepared. Okay. So agenda is the blueprint of the meeting. It tells about the action, or the it tells about the action plan of the meeting, what all points to be discussed, the date, it gives the information like date, the topic of the meeting, the purpose of the meeting, the participants of the meeting, the time and the venue, the date, topics, how many times, what is the schedule for each topic. So all that information, and then if there is a person who is responsible for a particular topic, who is that person who will convene the that meeting topic. So all that information will be given in the agenda. Okay. So that is the format of the agenda. Then opening remarks. Opening remarks is when you start the meeting, the whoever is convening the meeting, that person has to give an opening remarks where the person has to wish everyone. And in case there is, if this is a continuation of the previous meeting, then he will, give a summary of the previous meeting, and then he will start and he will wish everyone, and he will give the gist of what this meeting will be about and what it is expected from the participants. And then getting to the business, in the sense the actual meeting will start, where the actual discussion will start. So the person who is convening the meeting will tell about, will give all the information, and then he will provide all the information he has, and then he will invite the participation from the participants, where the participants also will provide all the information whatever they are ready with, and they will give all the inputs. They will also contribute to the meeting and provide all the information, and the discussion will take place. So like in proper discussion will take place. Again, this depends what kind of meeting it is. If the meeting is just to provide the information, just to deliver the information to all the participants, then the participation will be less. But if the meeting is to discuss over a specific issue, or to find a solution of a problem, then the participation is required from all the participants. And there are some people who do not participate, then those people should be motivated to give their inputs, and if still they don't do that, then they should be questioned so that they provide some inputs. Then closing. Finally, it is the closing of the meeting. So once all the discussions are done, then the whatever the the objective of the meeting is attained, and or even if it is not attained but the time has come to an end, then they are supposed to close the meeting. So if the objective is attained, then it is good, they have come to a resolution of the meeting, and the meeting gets closed. If it does not, if if they are not in a position to achieve the objective of the meeting, and the resolution is not yet attained, then, and still they have to close, because they have the time for the meeting has come to an end, then they are supposed to continue the meeting. Then they are supposed to inform when will be the next meeting, and they are supposed to inform and close the meeting. Next is the procedure after meeting. So once the meeting is completed, then the minutes of meetings are recorded, and then the evaluation of all the points that is given in the minutes of meeting is done, and the follow up is done. That means if any decision is taken, will it are they really following it up or not? Okay, now what is this minutes of meeting? That I think Okay, I'll finish it off. So, minutes of meeting is it describes what was discussed in the meeting. So, it gives the permanent record of the meeting. So, whatever was discussed in the meeting and whatever resolution they have come out with, all that discussions will be recorded in the minutes of meeting, so that in the next meeting this becomes as a reference. And not only that, whatever resolution they have come out, they will have a record of that, so that the implementation of those resolutions will be done. So the minutes of meeting will include who the convener of the meeting was, what was the meeting about, what was the topic of the meeting, what was the purpose of the meeting, who were the participants of the meeting, the date, time, and venue of the meeting. uh, then then it will include what was the discussion held, and then what was the outcome, or what was the resolution of the meeting. So all that will be recorded in the minutes of meeting, and all that should be included in the format of a minutes of meeting. Suppose there were some discussions to be done, and they had to arrive into some solution, and they had to take a decision, and somebody had to vote. Even that voting also has to be written. If somebody is dissenting, that means majority of people has agreed for one point, but there are minorities who are dissenting, then what is their point of dissent? Even that has to be recorded in the minutes of the meeting. So there are different types of minutes of meeting. You have minutes of narration, then you have verbatim or report, and then minutes of resolution. So minutes of narration is one where whatever is discussed in detail, everything is written in the minutes of meeting. Okay, So it is like detailed narration of whatever has happened in the meeting, all the discussions and the resolution. Then you have report or verbatim, which includes um, you know um, which includes actually it is not report, just don't follow this. It is minutes of narration and verbatim. Verbatim is a kind of minutes of meeting where entire meeting is written word to word. Verbatim means word to word, that means whatever was discussed. So what they do is they try to record all that meetings, and then they write the same thing word to word, whatever was discussed in the meeting. Then you have minutes of resolution. Minutes of resolution is one where they do not discuss about all the they do not include all the discussions, but they only will tell what was the resolution that was made, what was the decision that was made. So only that part is recorded in the minutes of meeting. Okay, so this is about different types of meeting. So with this we are done with meetings as well. Okay, so in the next class we will start with presentation and
Madam,
yes sir.
now have you informed about the change of the schedule?
Oh yeah, I forgot. I actually forgot because I came 2 minutes late to the class. I came at 5:02, so I
Okay.
just started the class.
No, no, I thought to inform in the middle. I was in some other meeting, that's why I didn't join in the beginning. Our staff was on this meeting.
Okay, sir.
I think one link you have sent.
Yes,
Only
sir.
two more sessions are pending. Then which timing you want to conduct that one? That link which I have received that link.
That is for Sunday 9 to 11, sir. Actually, my college the timings have changed. So Monday and Tuesday I might not take the classes from 5 to
Okay, Sunday 9 to 11 o'clock.
morning 9 to 11. Yes, sir.
No, I am sending the mail. I am waiting for that your confirmation. That link, whatever is created, it is for the 9 to 11.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Now I'm sending the mail to the students. Dear learners, you all attend on Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, we are going to conduct marketing management session by another faculty. Madam was busy with her activities. That's why I think MMPC007. Uh, MMPC007, madam,
Yes, sir.
you
Yes.
are teaching.
Um,
I hope that will be
I,
completed.
I- Let me once confirm it.
Business
I
administration.
was teaching yes, sir. The business communication is MMPC 007.
Yes. MMPC 006 marketing management schedule already I have shared with you all the students. Monday, Tuesday is three sessions. Morning 11 to I think 12 to 1 o'clock. And evening 4 to 6 is there, and 23rd onwards another courses will start. We are going to complete all the 7 courses of the first semester, maybe by the 15th of the November. Any other thing is there? Anyhow, I am going to interact with you all in the middle. We will inform you this. Please note uh, Monday, Tuesday, MMPC 007 counseling sessions, which actually scheduled are preponed to the Sunday at 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. That intimation also you are going to get through email. The separate link is also will be shared with the students. Accordingly, you can join and complete this MMPC 007 counseling sessions. Okay, thank you, Dr. Anjana Garu,
Thank
for
you, sir.
spending your time and
Thank you,
taking
sir.
the session. And also, I thank the students. We will see you on Sunday.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Sunday at 11 a.m.
Yes,
Please,
sir.
9 a.m. Please attend at 9 a.m.
Yes, sir. 9 to 11.
Yes, okay. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.